Face reading, diagnosis, and the five elements. An easy way to read other people's faces is by classifying them into five types: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, of the five elements theory. Wood symbolizes growing wood or flowers. It means honesty and benevolence. Fire implies flaming fire or light. It means courtesy and politeness. Earth is calm and balanced ground or soil. It means confidence and faith. Metal connotes stretched and solid metal or rocks. It means justice and righteousness. Water reflects cohesiveness and cold water. It means intelligence and sagacity. Wood types take on slim and straight shapes. Its peculiarity is a wider forehead than that of a chin. So sometimes it looks like an oval facial type, but it must have a broad forehead. It is embodied by the growth of plants. Other than the shape of the face, it also has long and straight limbs and fingers and doesn't have a fleshy body. It is seen in people of literary aptitude, administrative and educational circles. They are rather mental than physical workers. The US President Barack Obama and the former Japanese Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi are examples of wood type faces. Fire type takes on the form of flame. It is opposite to the type of wood. It has narrow forehead while the lower part of the face is wide. People with fire type are energetic, cheerful, vibrant, and forthright, but also have an inclination toward conservatism and are often impetuous. They are good at sports with quick reflexes and a physical strength. It is seen in people of martial arts, wrestling, and weightlifting. The famous Korean entertainer Kang Ho-dong and former gold medalist of women's weightlifting Jang Mi-ran have the fire type face. Earth types have propensity for thick and big boned shapes. They have a sturdy body type with full lips and thick nose bridge and wings. The singularity of this type is prominent cheekbones, so the forehead and chin look comparatively narrow. They are sociable and credible. They listen to others and show relaxed personality. Kim Gu, the leader of Korean independence movement during Japanese colonial era in the early 1900s, had the face of earth type. Metal types have a squared form. People with metal type faces have properly prominent nose and full nose wings. They have muscular body, specially developed jawbone. They are active, aggressive, and frank. They sometimes behave self-righteously and have qualities of a boss and high competitive spirit. People in political world or entrepreneurs have faces of a metal type. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Chuang Mong-koo, chairman of Hyundai Motor Group, have this type. Water types have a mild and rounded shape. People with water type faces are plump with thin bones. Their foreheads can look narrow, but those with wide forehead are reformative leaders and make a great success. They are delicate and wise. They are busy and smooth like running water and talented in many fields. An Cheol-soo, the former presidential candidate and now an assemblyman, and C, the famous singer who is gaining skyrocketing popularity by the newly released album Gentleman, have the faces of water type. Our body constitution is influenced by both innate and acquired factors. An ideal body constitution, yin-yang harmony, is defined by TCM as the following: proportionate body, appropriate body weight, rosy cheeks and sharp eyes, smooth, shiny hair and fair skin elasticity, clear audible voice, healthy teeth, and excellent hearing abilities, ability to obtain daily good night's sleep and regular urination and bowel movements, agile and energetic limbs, positive mood and mindset, flexibility to changes. Wood. This kind of people is violent-tempered and always loses temper. The cultured are relatively good, while the uncultured will beat others or destroy things if they are offended. Born with a general type constitution, this kind of people will be competent and useful to family and society, with an indomitable spirit if the constitution is well adjusted. On the contrary, they and people around them will live a miserable life. This is the typical wood type people with damped heat constitution in TCM. In the Chinese system, the wood element corresponds to the liver and gallbladder energies in the human body. Anatomically, the liver organ is located in the upper right part of the abdomen, behind the lower part of the rib cage. In Chinese medicine, the main functions of the liver concern filtering, storing, and regulating blood and regulating qi. The quality of liver energy is specifically related in the quality of the tendons, ligaments, sinews, nails, and eyes. In Chinese medicine, the liver is often compared to trees, as both tend to spread out freely. The liver's function is to spread qi throughout the body. It accomplishes this in three ways: regulating mind and mood, promoting digestion and absorption, and keeping qi and blood moving normally. The liver's function of regulating the flow of energy in the body also specifically aids the spleen in distributing nutrients and water in the body, and therefore contributes to good digestion. An unhealthy liver can affect the spleen negatively, resulting in poor appetite, belching, vomiting, and diarrhea. The liver's function of regulating the flow of energy directly affects the flow of blood. Erratic blood flow can result in symptoms throughout the lower abdomen, in particular for women, affecting the menstrual blood. Your left cheek corresponds to your wood element, or the liver gallbladder network. Broken capillaries and redness, especially up next to the bridge of your nose, indicate heat, inflammation, or congestion of toxins in the liver. Bulging veins, redness, and rush sometimes signal high blood pressure and pent-up anger. A yellowish hue under the left eye may indicate gallstones or high triglycerides or cholesterol, which are processed by the liver gallbladder network. Problems in this part of the face can also reveal emotional issues, such as anger and depression, since the liver and gallbladder network includes the nervous system. In TCM, heart and liver regulate flow of vital energy and blood, which results in an even temper, feelings of happiness, and relaxation. When liver does not function well, it results in anxiety, irritability, anger, and resentment. Modern society places particular stress on the liver in the type of food we eat and stresses inherent in daily life. Road rage is a typical example of liver qi stagnation. Fire people are thin and can hardly get fat no matter how much nutritious food they eat. They have hot palms and foot arches, dry skin, and prone to wrinkles and pimples. Their skin looks rough and dull and has spots. They often feel dry in the mouth, throat, nose, lips, and eyes, and have flushed cheeks and hot faces. Meanwhile, this kind of people likes cold drinks which actually do not quench thirst, and they are prone to insomnia and constipation. In life and work, they tend to be short-tempered, outgoing, active, lively, and very efficient and make others feel they are the fire in winter. This is the typical fire-type people. Fire people often suffer from fire excess out of yin deficiency, which may lead to fever caused by excessive yang. The fire goes to the heart, which connects to the blood vessels and decides people's spirit, so the heart has a strong impact on people's health. Without spirit, people will die. The fire element has two pairs of meridians associated with it. One pair is the heart and small intestine, the other pair is the pericardium. Anatomically, the pericardium is the tissue surrounding the heart. And the triple burner. The triple burner is a conceptual energy system unique to Chinese medical theory. It has hours of activity, specific functions, points of access and control, exactly like the other meridians, but it has no anatomical counterpart. In Chinese medicine, the heart is said to rule the blood and blood vessels. While the liver is said to be the controller of blood, the heart is said to be the governor. This means that the liver allows blood to move, while the heart determines where the blood needs to go. The pericardium refers to the protective tissue of the heart. External pathogenic factors and emotions mostly attack pericardium before they affect the heart. In TCM, heart qi controls the other viscera and bowels. Heart has yin and yang aspects. The yin refers to blood controlled by the heart. The yang refers to actual function, heat, qi of the heart. Main functions of the heart are controlling blood circulation, taking charge of mental activities, producing sweat as the fluid of the heart. The condition of the heart is expressed in tongue and face. According to Chinese medicine, the forehead corresponds to the fire element. This is associated with the heart and small intestine organ network, as well as the mind and spirit. When examining your forehead, look for redness or small blood vessels that appear as discoloration, which could indicate a heart problem. Skin discoloration could also be caused by a recent emotionally charged experience, such as a breakup or loss. It is common for people whose emotions are regularly in turmoil to have a constant furrow between their eyebrows. A heart attack can often be foretold by a subtle bluish-green hue on the forehead. If you have discoloration on your forehead accompanied by heart palpitations, dizziness, shortness of breath, and tingling or pain in your left arm, schedule an appointment with a cardiologist or visit an emergency room if necessary. The bulb of the nose relates to heart health. It's the gateway to cardiopulmonary system. If the nose is swollen or red, it means that the heart is overworked and enlarged. Sugar and fatty foods affecting the heart and arteries will manifest as pimples on the nose. Alcohol intake, you will see swollen nose and heart. Here are a few good tips to help you improve the health of your heart. Reduce your red meat intake and dairy products because they are high in saturated fat. Cut out processed sugary food that contains trans fatty acids. Eat lots of whole grains high in fiber and fresh fruits and vegetables. Exercise daily. Avoid stress and don't overexert yourself. There is a kind of people who are big-bellied, tolerant, honest, good-tempered, and cheerful all day and get along well with people around. Everyone wants to make contact with them. Usually they have good appetite and sound sleep. Earth people may get fat even though they only drink water and often snore, sometimes like thunder, in the sound sleep. In addition, they are prone to diarrhea, lumbar disc herniation, diabetes, hypertension, and fatty liver. What's more, some of them may have never caught a cold but die suddenly one day. Such kind of people tend to have two extremes: seldom getting sick but living a long life, or suffering from illness all day and dying suddenly. This is the typical earth type people with a phlegm-dumpness constitution in terms of TCM. In TCM, the earth element includes the spleen and stomach meridians. The spleen in Chinese medicine is different from the anatomical organ as described in Western medicine. TCM says that the spleen is located in the middle of the body cavity and is the main organ of digestion. Its yin aspect is its material structure, while its yang aspect is its function. The spleen's function, which is absolutely fundamental to the health of the body, is transforming food and liquid into blood. The spleen is also responsible for containing organs in their proper places, such as the blood in its vessels and uterus and anus in their positions. The spleen has relationships with muscles, limbs, and lips. Your nose corresponds to the earth element, indicating a connection to the stomach, spleen, and pancreas network. Symptoms of internal discord typically show up as a pimple on the tip or side of your nose. Think back to your meals from the previous day. Did you eat a lot of spicy, deep-fried, fatty, or rich foods? How about chocolate? If the answer is yes, your choice of cuisine could be the problem. As a result, you may suffer from indigestion, constipation, or diarrhea. Broken capillaries or redness across the bridge of the nose could reveal alcohol abuse, or it may simply mean excessive worry and stress, which taxes your earth element network. Well, we had a patient who was distressed from her taxing executive job with alcohol and sweets, and her nose always gave these indiscretions away. We recommended she calm her nerves in healthier ways, like meditation and other stress-releasing techniques. The forehead represents the sensing and nervous system functions, such as thinking. Pimples and blemishes on the forehead indicate stress and excessive thinking that may be drawing energy away from the digestive system. This weakens the waste elimination process and leads to increased levels of toxins in the body's bloodstream, which results in pimples. Acne on the forehead usually means you have stress due to overthinking and a troublesome nervous system. This means you need to take better care of it and participate in more physical activities and include more whole grain fiber in your diet. In your life and work, there is a kind of people who like to dominate others, such as former US President George Bush and Britain's first female Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. They are domineering and self-motivated and will never stop until they reach their goal. Also, they are very dignified but have strong vanity and pride. They always feature wide forehead, high eyebrow, deep eyes, white and square face, and they are tall and strong. These kind of people can become an officer or make a fortune because they are very capable. This is the typical metal type people who are born leaders both outside and in. Since metal people are born with pathogenic dryness of gold, and lung belongs to metal in five elements, the pathogenic dryness reaches to the lung and makes the metal people prone to lung diseases. As a result, keeping the lung moist is important for the health preserving of metal types. If they are too tired and excited or overtax their brains, they will easily have a headache. Metal people have a heat constitution and they are prone to yin deficiency. The metal element relates to not only the respiratory system but also the immune system, including the lymphatic system, the large intestine, or the colon and the skin. The metal element is said to control Wei Qi, also called defensive Qi. This particular type of Qi has a shielding effect and thus is often considered analogous to our immune system. Anatomically, the lungs are made up of two lobes located in the chest. They connect to the larynx, bronchi, and trachea, opening to the external environment through the nose. In TCM, the lung is divided into yin of the lung, the material structure, and qi of the lung, functions of the lung. The term yang of lung is rarely used. The yang organ paired with the lung is the large intestine. The function of both is expressed in quality of the skin and strength of voice. The lungs are involved with regulating interaction between the body and the air of the environment in three ways: through inhalation and exhalation, by opening and closing the pores of the skin, and by producing and maintaining the defensive qi. Because purified qi of inhaled air is involved in the production of blood, the lungs are involved in nutrition. Because inhalation sends water to the kidneys, the lung function also affects fluid balance in the body. Your right cheek corresponds to the metal element, meaning this area of your face is connected to the lung and large intestine network. Problems in the lung and large intestine network present themselves as discoloration, blemishes, and skin problems on your right cheek. A mild acne breakout, eczema patch, or slight redness may mean a cold is coming on. Lung illness or upper respiratory ailments also trigger visual symptoms on the right cheek. People who are prone to respiratory allergies or asthma have a tendency to have reddish, scaly eczema, a slight rash or slight bluish-green hue along the right cheek, showing too much heat or inflammation in the respiratory system or a lack of oxygen from bronchial constriction. Clear, bright cheeks mean healthy lungs. Often, smokers have dark pigments in their cheeks. If you have problems with acne on your cheeks, you may have fatty deposits and carbon in your lungs. Your oxygen absorbing capacity may also be low. A few good tips to improve the health of your lungs are: stop smoking, reduce or stop eating fatty, greasy foods, eat more leafy green vegetables, walk or exercise daily to help rid your lungs of toxins and increase oxygen intake. In the world, there is a kind of people who are smart, cunning, complex, and resourceful. They like to move about or travel around and love the perceptual life. They may have too many dreams and often change their minds. Also, they tend to only care about themselves and be not interested in the outside world. Usually, they have cold hands and feet, and their stomach, waist, or knees are sensitive to coldness, thus often wear more than others. In winter, they can't stand the cold, while in summer, they cannot stand the air conditioning. Such kind of people like to eat the hot food and will feel uncomfortable if they eat or drink the cold. Since they often have loose bowels, they always cannot cheer up. This is the typical water type people with a yang deficiency constitution in terms of TCM. TCM believes these kind of people are prone to yang deficiency. Since too much water causes the serious deficiency of yang, water people often fear of cold under this condition and suffer from many diseases associated with cold. At the same time, too much yin will consume less yang and lead to the long life. However, if water people do less exercise but eat more cold foods such as cucumber, lotus root, bitter gourd, pear, and watermelon, they will develop the yang deficiency constitution. In conclusion, water type people should do more exercise and work and eat less sweet, sour, and cold food to live a healthy, happy, and long life. The water element relates to the kidneys and the urinary bladder. It controls the skeletal system, the bones, reproductive system, including the testes and ovaries, and endocrine system, including the adrenals, pancreas, hypothalamus, thyroid, pituitary gland, pineal gland, and thymus. The kidneys rule the bones and produce bone marrow. The teeth are considered a surplus of the bones. The kidneys open into the ears and the hair on the head. The ancient texts say that if the ears and kidneys are harmonized, the ear can hear five tones. Kidneys rule overall constitution, health, longevity. Health of the kidneys is the foundation for the overall balance of all the other internal organs. The yin aspect of the kidneys is storing the essence of life, the jing, and water. Yang aspect is serving as the life gate of fire, that is, as the motive force for transformation in the body. Because of these fundamental functions, the kidneys are affected by any chronic disease. The moistness and vitality of the hair on the head are related to the kidney essence. The hair also depends on blood for nourishment, which is why the hair on the head is also referred to as a surplus of blood. For the water element, you have to look at the chin. Be sure to also look at your philtrum, the indentation just above your lips. This small area relates to the uterus and ovaries in women and the prostate and genitals in men. Horizontal lines, blemishes, or discoloration across the philtrum may indicate infertility issues due to problems such as endometriosis or uterine fibroid cysts. According to Chinese medicine, people who have a small chin are genetically predisposition to weakness in their kidney and bladder network. However, this doesn't mean that small chin people will develop kidney disease. The information is simply an alert that a tendency may exist, and patients can choose to make lifestyle changes to prevent the development of a condition. The area below the eyes is associated with the health of your kidneys. Swelling under the eyes occurs when your kidneys are tired or weak and cannot adequately regulate the liquid content of your body. A few good tips to improve the health of your kidneys are: reduce your intake of animal protein because it gets converted into uric acid, which is hard on the kidneys. Eat more beans and bean products. Cut out sugar, salt, alcohol, caffeine, and soft drinks because they are all hard on the liver. Thank you very much for listening.